Hey, thank you all for coming. It's a real pleasure to be here. I'm going to read just 3 poems. The only thing really you need to know is I'm going to reference a place called Oxiana. The book is based in and around where I grew up in West Virginia, which has been the hardest hit by the opiate epidemic, pills and then heroin in the country. And early on, there was a town in the southern part of the state called Oceana that was kind of one of the original blast zones of this epidemic. And so people started calling it Oxiana. The book simply takes that notion and applies it to basically anywhere in the state. And it's been a serious problem. They have a fatal overdose rate that's about 3 times the national average, and it's out of control. They've run out of money to bury people. That's how bad it is. So, I'm just going to read the 3 poems very quickly. Thank you so much. Oxiana, West Virginia. None of it was ever ours. The Alleghenies, the fog-strangled mornings of March, cicadas fucking to death on the sidewalks, the pink heads of rhododendrons lopped off by the wind. We wrestled earth with alchemy, turned creek beds into wine glasses the Roosevelts used at state dinners, fueled fires hot as the sun's dreams. And there was light, a mile deep in the underworld mines, beaming from our foreheads like wings through dust. Not even the days we called beautiful, autumn weekends when DC drove in to take pictures, women in silk dresses picking our apples, posing, holding our bushel baskets with a tenderness we've never known. Snow days, belly crawling onto the frozen lake to hear the ice recite the Iliad. Not Hog Hill where massy energy dumped cinder, the gray waste between breaths, poisoned trees black like charred bones, where we burned cars while girls wrote our death dates on our palms with their tongues. Even now, rain choking the throats of smokestacks, the river a vein of rust and trash. Have you ever seen so many cold faces slapped in the afternoon? So many voices screaming, "Wake up." This is beyond desire. This is looking through a hole in the wall around heaven. How do you forget that? A world without ruin, a world that can't be taken. Where once was faith, there are sirens. Red lights spinning door to door, a record 24 in one day. All the bodies at the morgue filled with light. Who can stand another night stealing fistfuls of pills from our cancer-sick neighbors? Of the rail cars crying, the timber trucks hauling away the history of a million birds. Pitiful, maybe, but oblivion is all we have. And if we want to chop it down or dig it up or send it screaming into our hearts, it's only now that our survival is an issue. Pin oaks arm wrestle over the house as barrel fires spark like stars in the valley. Day closes its jaws. I can hear my brother explaining how when Jonah woke inside the whale, he didn't know where he was. I'm not saying this ends with the Leviathan, but I'm not saying it doesn't. Here it comes, rising through the floor, the voice that tells me I'm tired of the world, that pulls me down to its pale kingdom. Should someone find me, they'll scream, "Stay with me," as they fish my tongue from my throat. Should I wait, they'll ask me if I can tell them where I am. Today I took you to our Oxiana High School reunion. It was held in the gymnasium, which was full of coffins, full of smaller coffins, full of oxys. I guess we were underdressed, me in my surf shoes, you in an urn. During the cocktail hour, faces I'd forgotten asked me what I do. I listened for the wisdom of the clouds. And you? They asked me to recite a piece, so I ran through the halls, screaming rapture as watching a little girl with a flock of gold balloons tied around her wrist float away into a hailstorm, but they didn't get it. I said we build buildings to house pieces of our past, and they laughed, clinked their glasses. Someone with their back turned to the audience gave a speech. 2/3 of us are dead. I found the bench under the mulberry where I first wrote words like blue jay, hoping they would vibrate into other words, into a song that would make me a little less afraid, less alone, sat down, wept with my head in my hands. Reunion means go tremble where you first felt helpless. I ran down the rec field, holding you like a football, hoping to disassemble, but remain whole and useless. No memories left, just the bleacher we climbed on a spring night, and I said, if you want to quit, then quit doing it. I owe you an apology. In February, I climbed a mountain in Vermont. I should have brought you with, should have thrown you in fistfuls into Arctic air. Things were winding down, people stacking chairs, dragging the coffins onto a flatbed, when a classmate walked up and pointed at you in the urn I cradled like an infant, said, that motherfucker stole $40 from me. I offered him a 20. I said, I'm sorry. It's all we have. And then this is just the last one. It's the last one in the book. Thank you guys so much. There is a gold light. Kind of absurd, I still wake up thinking you're alive. It lasts maybe 2 seconds. A lot's changed since you've gone. I've been so shocked by beauty, my toenails went black. As a way of bringing people together, I started stealing stop signs. Each morning, I put on my best suit, stuff it full of dried grass, and go walking through the fields. The crows totally lose their shit, and I feel dead and alive in that blurry way it got for you near the end. High, not high, nodding off, so bent over it seemed your spine was made of feathers. People say I'm performing grief. I say I'm keeping things alive. Tomatoes, peppers, cucumbers, melons. The more still I stand, the more flies do their fly thing, sewing up the spaces between seconds. I want to kill them. I want to pick off their wings and paste them on my eyelids. When I bat my lashes, I'll levitate a little. I'll buzz. For lunch, I chewed up bread for Grandpa and fed it to him. It was like putting coins in a busted jukebox. Strange thing. I watched his eyes, blind as bowls of milk, trail the curlicue flight path of a cardinal. On the walk from his house, the barn, rising from the green wheat, looks like a rogue wave with a hankering to drown. Tidal force of dove gray wood, hay scratch, ribbons of snakeskin hanging in the rafters. I've come up to the hayloft to gather tomorrow's courage and wonder out loud if maybe you were the cardinal. But there are bigger miracles at hand. It's the evening hour when the sun, through the cracks in the wall, slides over the floor like golden doors to something as desperate and false as prayer. As if my grief were a hall. As if it were of any use to the dead. How can this not be for you? I would have done anything.